Hi, my name is Clarissa. I've been a customer with Melaleuca for about 6 months now. I am a makeup artist. I've been in the industry for over 25 years, and today I'm going to be doing a bold look. So I'm going to prep my face with our foundation primer, and I'm going to be using a beauty blender. And what this does, it just helps your skin, it helps your skin look a lot more smoother, and it helps keep your makeup on a lot longer and help smooth out those awesome wrinkles that we get over time. So you just want to be very gentle and just kind of apply it everywhere. And I bring it down my neck because I just want to make sure that any type of texture that may be there gets nice and smooth. Okay. So I start with my eyebrows, and I'm going to teach you guys how to create an eyebrow look where you actually can create a little bit of an illusion that your face is a little more awake. So I'm going to start by shaping my brows with the Sabella eyebrow pencil, and it has 3 parts. So it has the pencil that's kind of at an angle for that definition. It also has a spoolie and the powder. You just twist it open. Isn't that amazing? All right, so let me start off with defining my brows. So what I do is I just kind of follow along the bottom of my brow lightly and just shape it out. And you don't have to be too concerned with precision at this point, because I'm going to teach you guys how to clean up the edges and sharpen that eyebrow look. And then I just go in and just kind of brush up those hairs. And if you see right here, I'm going to create like an arch. And again, I'm going to go back with concealer and clean it up. So you don't have to be too concerned with getting it perfect just yet. And you'll see the magic transform right before your very eyes. Okay. I'm going to go in with the spoolie and just blend that out. And there's really no like right or wrong way to do your makeup. Everybody does their makeup differently, and this is just a way that works for me. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I don't start with my eyebrows, it's totally okay. You do what you're comfortable with, but this is just what I suggest and what I've been doing for a very, very long time, especially with the bold look. So now that I have the shape of my brows done, I'm going to blend that out a little bit more. And I take a little more time on my brows because I feel like that really sets the makeup look as you start to progress into the other parts of your makeup. So I'm going to go with the powder and just fill those lines in, those blank spots. Again here. So now I'm going in with this brush right here. If you see, it has like an angle, and then it has this little dense end right here. This is perfect for sharpening out the brows because of the way the bristles are lined up. So I'm going to go ahead and get my concealer. Now I use 2 concealers when I'm defining my brows. Okay, the lighter one is going to go right in the bottom as a highlight. The top one is a little bit closer to my natural skin tone or the color of my foundation. So I'm going to start off with the lighter one first. And again, follow the brow. And this concealer is really nice because you only need a little bit. It's super concentrated, super creamy, and it has really amazing coverage. And I just bring it down all the way. And then I'll get my beauty blender and I just blend out that area just a little bit. And then you're going to do the same with the other side. And this is not something that I do on the daily. This is for a bold look. So I just want to make sure that you guys are not like thinking like, oh my gosh, does she do this every day? No. You don't want to pull on your eye too much because that skin is a lot thinner than the rest of the skin on your face. So you pull that, the elasticity is not going to come back. So you want to make sure that you are just pressing that in. So now I'm going to go in with another Flawless concealer. This is closer to my foundation color. And this is where you start to really see your brows start to come to life and not look so bushy. And I just blend that up. Again with the Beauty Blender. Tap. And you can basically shape your brows however you want doing them this way. And if you notice, my eyebrows kind of go out. That creates an illusion of being a little bit more open and awake, and it's going to make your face look, your eyes look a little bit more alive and not droopy. I've seen many women do their eyebrows where it comes way down further, and even if your hairs are there, you want to kind of tweeze them out a bit just to create that openness in your eyes. And if you find yourself getting a little bit of concealer, like I got a little bit of concealer right there, that's okay. We can go back with the eyebrow pencil and just kind of fill that out a little bit. And remember one thing, your eyebrows are sisters, they're not twins, so they don't have to be perfect, okay? All right, so now I'm gonna go and start on my eyes. Now, when you're doing a bold look, I like to do the eyes first, and then I do my foundation, only because there's fallout. This particular line I've noticed doesn't have a lot of fallout, but just to make sure that I'm not doing double work, using double product, I like to do my eyes first, especially when I'm incorporating like darker colors like black or charcoal brown or gray. Okay, so let's prep the eye. I am going to use the same concealer that I used for highlighting my brow. I have dark circles, and this is just hereditary. So for me, I like to add a lot of concealer as a base just to create that really even canvas. And then I go back and I'll highlight my eyes again after I have my foundation on. And this is just a personal habit of mine that I've done for years, because I like to see that it has a smooth surface as far as color is concerned. A nice even color. But you can see like how that concealer has really made a difference in my dark circles. Okay, so now I'm going to go in and use, there's two different brushes here. So we have a blending brush, and then we have a brush that has, if you notice, the bristles are a little bit shorter, a little bit more together, and this is a lot more spread out, kind of like a flare, okay? These type of brushes, when you're applying color onto your lid, this is going to apply the most color. So I'm going to go in, and if you notice, I go right here and I'm going to really press in and get that color on there. And I'm just going to press the color onto my lid. And if you notice, this doesn't have too much fallout right there, but I want to show you something. This is why I do my foundation afterwards, because you want to make sure that you are preserving all of your product and you're not wasting it. So you just want to grab a wipe and just wipe it away. And I'm going to do the same with the other side, just like that. This is a beautiful, like a mauve-y purple color. And if you're just starting out, like this is going to be kind of like a smoky look. So if you are just wanting to like experiment, these type of colors, like a mauve or a bronze, is a perfect way to introduce yourself to a smoky look. If you go straight in for the black, it's going to be tough. It's even hard for me, and I have a lot of experience. So there's that. And if you notice, I have some edges right there, right? I'm going to go ahead and get this blending brush and just buff that out with no color. So there's no color on my brush at all. And I'm just going to buff it out round and round and round. it's a lot easier to add color than it is to remove it. So there's that. We're going to go on this side and just round and round, buff out those harsh edges. And if you notice, just with one color, it already looks like there's like two colors. These eyeshadows blend out really nice. Okay. Now I'm going to go in with like this is called Cranky, but it's kind of like a corky brown color, and this is perfect for like a transition color. With the same brush, I'm going to add a little bit of color, a little bit of the Cranky, and I'm going to go in my crease and just add just a tiny bit. And we call this like a transition color, the industry. And with that same brush that I use the concealer with, I'm going to just clean it off just a bit and go in with a light color. And this is called Genuine. And it's like a matte cream eyeshadow. And I'm just going to tap that there and then slowly press into my eyebrow arch, just to create a little highlight. Do the same over here. I'm going to go in with the dark. So now I'm going to go and add a little bit of black to the outer corners. Now this would be considered, it's kind of like a smoky look, but it gives a little bit more definition in the corners, and it just makes your eyes pop and makes it a little more bold. So again, I'm going to go in with the belly of the brush, and you want to go through steps. So you want to do the darkest color at the very end, and because if you start with the dark and then go in, it creates a big mess. So right on the corners, you're just going to press that color in, just like that. Again on this side. And I'm just applying the color right now. I'm not blending anything just yet. Okay, now with the same brush that I used earlier, you want to kind of just clean it off a bit, and then the edges, just buff it out. I'm not a fan of using a blending brush to apply a black color because it just creates a huge mess. So if you've noticed that you've tried to use black, don't beat yourself up. It's one of those colors that can be really kind of scary and intimidating to use, but once you get the right understanding on how to apply it, it really does create a really nice, pretty smoky eye. So right now, you're probably thinking that kind of looks a little messy, but I promise you it's going to start to come together. I always tell my clients, just let me finish your makeup and then you can see. So that's the fallout. And this is why I do my eyes first when I do a bold look. Because no matter how good the eyeshadow is, there will always be a little bit of something there. I'm going to go in with my foundation. And I'm using the Flawless Foundation by Sabella, and it's in 280N. I absolutely love this foundation. Number one, you can use it every single day and just have it for just to go pick up your kids from school, or you can build on it and have it really, really be super coverage. And it has all these vitamins. It has prickly pear cactus that helps with, tightening and firming the skin, which I need. And I'm just going to blend that out. And you're just going to stipple that on. lightly pat it on and bring it down. And if you notice, I don't bring it too far into where my under eyes are because I'm going to go in with some concealer right now. And you want to bring it all the way up to your hairline. I even bring it into my ears, especially me because my ears tend to get a little red sometimes. So it's just something I've always done. And if you want a little bit more coverage, you can always go in with some more. And since we're doing a bold look, I'm going to add just a little bit more. You're just going to even it out. And lightly around here, I like to just kind of lightly press it in so you don't wipe away all the work that you did. And you don't want to pull because we are applying the foundation to your face. And now I'm going to start underneath my eyes. So I am using black eyeliner from Sabella. And it's retractable. I love that. And I'm just going to put it into my waterline. And normally my eyes get super red when I do my waterline, but then it starts to clear up. So if that ever happens to you, don't worry, you're not allergic to anything. And it's very normal. And I just bring it up into my lash line on the top as well. But you don't want to do it to the point where you're going to make your eyes water, because then that's going to just defeat the whole purpose and you're going to have to start all over again. And I like to bring it down the bottom of my lashes, and I'll show you guys exactly why. And this is where you're going to start creating that smoky look on the bottom. And I'm going to go in with my angled brush and just blend that out. Just like that. And then you can add a little bit more if you need to. I love black eyeliner, especially for a smoky look like that. All right. And I'm going to go in with a little bit more eyeshadow. The shadow that I have on my lid, I'm going to actually add it to the bottom portion of my eye right in there. And it just gives it that pop of color a little bit. Around there. And I'm using basically the same brushes over and over again. All right. Now I'm going to go in with some concealer. This is what the boot looks like. I prefer concealer that has a boot because it just goes on so smoothly and so easy. Just like that. Like butter. And then I'm going to go in with my beauty blender and just blend that out. Okay. So I'm going to curl my lashes. But to get the lashes, get the eyelash curler really close to my actual eyelashes, I'm going to need a mirror to see a little bit closer. And here's a little tip when you're curling your lashes, bring it up a bit, hold it, let go. So I'm holding the mirror and I'm just going to curl my lashes. And I'm holding it so that I don't pinch myself. And you just want to pop up your hand just a tiny bit, just to get that extra curl. hold it for about 5 seconds, and let it go. And there's your curl. And I'm using the Volume mascara, and I'm just going to come from the base and pull it up. And a little something about me, I am not a fan of mascara, but I am a fan of this one. I absolutely love it. And I use the tip of the brush to get those ends and to really get the mascara on them. And you want to make sure that when you put the mascara back inside the packaging, that you are not pumping the mascara, because it will dry out the product. And then on the bottom, I love a lot of mascara on the bottom. And I use the tip. And then at the very end, I'll use the brush, and then again, the tip. The brush to really apply the product on, like that, and then the tip to separate. And again, you want to just use whatever it is that makes you comfortable. There's really no right and wrong way to do makeup. You just want to get creative and have fun with it. And don't be afraid of color. Don't be afraid to experiment. And if you get a little bit right at the top right there, you can go back with your brush and just dust it off. You want to wait till it dries a bit so it can just flake right off. Okay. Now, if you notice that my eyes are a little red, this is just the way my eyes are every time I do my makeup. So it's not anything ordinary. This is just how I am. Now, there's different ways to contour. We have a powder bronzer that you can contour with, or you can also get a darker liquid foundation. That's what I'm going to use today. And I'm just going to put a tiny bit on my beauty blender. And you're just going to, right where your ear starts, this little area right here, I just like to place a little bit of foundation right in the corners. And then right around my forehead. And right in here. And also, my favorite part, right in there, because we are trying to make that face look a little bit slimmer. And right now I probably look like I have war paint on, but I promise once I blend it out, it'll look amazing. And you're just going to blend and flip. And this is when the magic starts to happen. And you can add as much as you want. It depends on where I'm going. If I'm going somewhere where it's going to be really dark, I will add a little bit more of the darker tone of foundation. And then I don't add any more color to my beauty blender, and I'll just kind of go in with my nose and just kind of just add just a tiny bit of color. And blending is super critical when using a liquid as a contour. Okay. Now here's a little trick. You always kind of want to just use your fingers right around your nose, because sometimes it gets a little caught up in there, or it looks like there's nothing in there. Okay, so there's that. And I'm going to go in with just a tiny bit of the bronzing powder and just right in the corner of that brush, just dab right in there and then get right in that little corner, just to add a little bit more depth. And it just creates this sunkenness to your face. So if you can see my face right in here, looks a little bit more in, and right in here, not so much. So I'm just going to add a little bit more. And I'm just pressing it into my face and then going back and forth just a tiny bit. Same up here. Right in there. And you can just really kind of go back and forth to create less of a double chin. Okay? All right. Now, the final thing is I'm going to use the translucent powder. And I'm going to get a little bit on here, my beauty blender, tiny bit. And I'm just going to do this. And this just creates a highlight right in there. Not too much, but it does help with slimming the face too. And then with whatever's left over, I'll just kind of lightly get under my eyes. I know that baking is really popular right now, but I am 41 years old, and the more powder I put under there, the more it accentuates and brings out those wrinkles, and I don't want to do that. So you just want to just lightly place that under there, press it in, and there it is. Normally, most people would probably be a little intimidated to do a red color with such a dramatic eye, but you can totally do it when you have something that's a little bit more on the earth tone. So like a purple or brown, bronzy, I think it would look perfectly fine. And I'm going to be using Ruby lip liner. I'm going to outline my lips. And then I'm going to go in with the red lipstick right on top. And again, this is setting while I do my lips. And you shouldn't be afraid to use red. I think every woman should be able to rock a red. You just need to find the base, and Sabella has so many different types of reds that it's definitely a line where you can experiment and try different colors. So I need to be very careful talking while doing this, because red, once you have it on, it's really hard to fix. So give me a second. And I like to put the liner on a lot of my, the majority of like the outer part of my lip and kind of bring it in because it will help the lipstick last a lot longer. And I'm using the matte color in Lover. Here's a little trick. If you really want your red lipstick to last a long time and you don't like that really liquidy, drying liquid lipstick, just get a little bit of translucent powder, a little brush, and you're just gonna place that right on top of your lipstick, and you're gonna create a long-lasting like a long wear. And you can go back with the liner and sharpen it up. Final. You don't want to forget to dust that off.